today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. She say our mamas come from Queens over there. That means that we, royalty.
I brought something that every moviegoer needs to bring with them, and that. How many boxes of these have you gone through? Not just filming the movie, watching the movie, doing press for the movie. Are you out of tears?
No. We keep thinking, crazy. we go. We're not gonna cry today.
Oh my God. We've done good today, though.
Yeah, we have.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Celie.
You must ain't got no kinfolk around these parts.
All I had was my sister.
It's one thing to have the cast members look at you and say, it's yours. And I know you told a story about Whoopi saying this is yours. But for each of you, at what moment did you actually feel this is mine?
When Oprah called.
You got
when
it that
Oprah
quickly?
called. I mean, yeah, when Oprah called, because it at that point, yeah, you have a job. You know, when she called and was like, Sugar Avery is coming to town. I was like, I guess she is. You know? Because then I went to work right away. I went straight into a musical, working with my vocal coach. And it was 2 months prior to me even starting principal photography. So I was trying to own her before I even got to set. And it was the music that I was most intimidated by. So I had to overcome that fear first before I could even get to the lines.
I know you've got a unique story because you played her before, but at what point maybe back then did you feel like this role, this is mine now?
When we got on set. When we got on set, that's when it really hit me. Because I was telling everybody, before they called, I had just started traumatic therapy, which, where they work on that younger side of you that could be hindering you from some things in your adult life. And I have the best life coach ever, but I could not allow her to be my life coach anymore. I had to allow Celie to be it. So whenever I stepped into the role and allowed Celie to be my life coach, I realized that she and I have a thing going on. Yeah.
You seem like trouble.
Now, I come here out of respect.
I thought I was owning it because I had because I had played her on Broadway, and once Taraji said, once you get the call from Miss O, you're like, yeah, I got it. But then when she came on set for the most iconic line, you told Harpo to beat me. That's when I was like, I don't know if I'm owning this. I have to get this power back because I was terrified with her watching me do this. But I knew that I had a responsibility to myself. And I knew that I could honor her if I did that, you know. And so after that, after we did this scene, we found each other. We were both in tears, and she took my face and she said, "You did it. It's yours. You did it." I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." And I can get through the rest of the time here.
I have to say, you managed to make carpentry look really fun.
I appreciate it.
That must have been a fun scene.
It was a lot of fun. That Georgia Heat wasn't fun, but no, it was honestly, it was thrilling to be able to step into that. That was Fatima Robinson, her incredible choreography, the music, the song that Blitz gave Harpo, because it wasn't originally in that script. And so, that's his work song. That's his love song. That's his love language. And I'm glad he got to kind of show out a little bit with that.
Speaking of scenes, I just got finished talking with Blitz, and he said Allison Walker had wanted to see something that he was doing. And the scene he chose to send her was the one with the two of you. Yeah. When did you know this? That's the one?
Yeah. She saw it on set.
Oh my gosh, that is an emotional moment. As much as they talk about the sisterhood of this film, there's a brotherhood of vulnerability and what it's like being a man and showing that side of him. And I would imagine that scene really got to you as well.
It really did. Even the way we crafted it, because it wasn't on the page, but a lot of the blueprint was there, an opportunity for us to infuse with the things that we care about. And it was a moment that we discovered in rehearsal, because it just wasn't right. We did it a few times, and the scene is written that I just sort of like, get off me, I'm not old, and I walk off. But I felt like, but what if there was a moment, if this guy's wildly he's in a vulnerable state. Yeah. He just delivered some text that says of truly what his problem is. His dreams were thwarted when he could not go off to be in a band with Suge Avery. He had to stay home until his granddaddy's land. Mm-hmm. So we understand this character now. He's vulnerable, he's open. Yeah. We have this moment. unwittingly lay my head on his chest after saying I'm proud of him. And there's a moment of tenderness where, and I remember in rehearsal, I heard Corey's voice. He's got a beautiful resonant voice, but I heard him sound like a 9-year-old asking his dad if he's all right. And then suddenly, there's that moment that's living in space of possibility of what could be if there was tenderness and people that just got rid of all that toxic masculinity and all that other stuff.
And allowed themselves to love.
That was that moment.
That's incredible that just a decision you make after doing rehearsals can change the entire feeling of an arc. The scene that doesn't inspire tenderness when I think about it is the iconic shaving scene. Is it strange to give up control and have somebody else? Because the minute you know exactly when it's going to happen, and you're like, oh, here we go with the shaving.
Well, you know, we had to do. Fantasia and I, we had to really, because we were like, the way it was written, it was like, oh, he just slaps with one slap. We're like, that's not enough. It's got to be that thing, that final straw. So she's like, I have to do something different. Now it's about like her evolution. And so so having Fantasia and I, we love each other, but we also had to go to deep places where I might have to trust her. Like, you gonna?
Right, you're not gonna take me.
Let me check that knife again.
Let me double check his dog.
Is that all right, good. Because I see that look in your eye, and you're very deep into this character right now. I make sure you know it's me. It's Coleman.
I know he just wrapped me quickly. When you see the color purple, what do you actually think about?
I think about the actual color purple.
Yeah, when you actually see purple.
I think about
what does it mean to
royalty.
you?
I think about God. I think about the fact that it exists. I think about seeing, honestly, truly, like, I mean, it reminds you to just ground yourself. And I'm literally looking at this purple flower right here behind you.
Spectacular color.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, let's just say if you walk by the color purple and you don't take notice, don't you think
God's
it pisses
not
God
happy,
off?
yeah.
Pisses God
I'm like,
off.
because it's such a fascinating color.
You know what's funny? I actually would, every single time I saw a purple flower, I take a photo of it because of the quote where I think God gets pissed off, you don't look at the color purple. So every time I see it, I just feel such gratitude. Yeah, God that's brought me all the way here.
I asked the other actresses, there's a point where, whether it's Whoopi Goldberg that comes up to somebody and says, it's yours now, run with it. I'm assuming that happened for you too, but at what moment did you actually feel like this role was now yours?
It was 2 days after we filmed the scene in the rain with me and Nettie when we're separated. That was a very, very difficult day for me. I'd never experienced anything like that in my life or on a set. I was in the rain for 2 days, having to do very traumatic work. And by the end of the last shot, I'm by myself. So it was the only time I'd been fully by myself on the set where everyone's far away to not get wet and watching from monitors and I can't see anyone. And, 2 days later, I get a text message and it says, "Hi, Felicia, this is Oprah. May I give you a phone call?"
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
I'm busy
Oprah.
right
No,
now.
I literally was like, are you spamming me? There's no way this is Oprah. How did she even have my number? And, she calls me and she says, "I know you probably felt really alone, but I was there the whole time watching you. I was supporting you, and you were fantastic. And thank you for all the work that you've done on this."
You didn't even know she was on set that day? Or?
And I had asked her the day before, I'm going to bring my Oprah sweatshirt. I want an autograph.
Right.
So when she didn't come, I was like, Oprah has shaded me. I can't believe she didn't come. And then to hear that she was there the whole time, I was like, oh. And I think she knew that I couldn't know she was there because I would have been focused on the fact that she was there and not giving to the work.
That's an amazing story. You have such a smile. I mean, and so does Fantasia. There is a resemblance there. And I'm curious, when you are playing a younger version of somebody, do you all have to get together and kind of talk that out a little bit? Or do you kind of stay away and this is your part and that's her part? How does that work when you're actually playing a younger her?
Well, by design, just because when I'd be filming, she'd be recording or rehearsing and vice versa. So there wasn't a lot of time built in the schedule for us to sit down and talk about the character. But what we would do is find our own time. I would go to set and watch her. Every single day I was not filming, I would be there and look and just watch her mannerisms. And I would just hear her talk to other people and hear more about her life story. And she is just so open and kind and gracious. And any questions I had, she would answer. Even the day she was singing "I'm Here," I went to set to go watch. And she pulled me aside and was like, "How are you doing? Are you doing okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just watching you." And it was so great to watch where she ended up because then I knew where I had to start. so we could earn that arc, we could earn that triumphant moment at the end where she says, I'm here.
First day on set, you yell action. I can't imagine what that was like. Can you tell me?
Whew. Scary, nerve-wracking, but here's the wild thing. The first shot from the first day made it into the movie.
Really?
It is.
Can I ask which one it is?
Girls running to the beach, where we kind of catch their legs and then we boom up to this wide master and we boom up to the title.
Beautiful.
Yeah, scary, scary. But again, I'm so glad and thankful and grateful that I had the opportunity to work on this.
I want to ask you about another shot. It's probably the end shot.
Yes.
I don't know where you shot that, if you did it chronologically or if that was in the middle, but that, I can get choked up just thinking about the beauty of that shot. Can you walk me through that day?
Wow, this was probably day 3.
That's early.
I shot very early. I shot my
Wow.
last shot early. And it wasn't just that. I mean, for me, I like to dive into the deep end. And I want my team and I want everybody working with me to know that we're going to make a bold story. We will not timidly creep up. We're going to dive in and we'll either swim or sink. And we swam.
Yeah.
That day was the first time most of the actors were working together on set because it was so early. But I also wanted to establish a family. And the only way to do it was to shoot a scene that they were all in. And that was everybody. Celie, Mr., Harpo, Sophia, Nettie had arrived back from Africa. I mean, it was everybody. I was like, well, if we can all hold hands and be in communion here, then everybody will be on the same page. There will be harmony.
Yeah.
And that harmony will carry us all the way through. So that was early. But the beauty of that moment, Oprah was there.
Yeah.
And before we knew it, we were doing the electric slide. and that's how we ended the day.
The one dance I can actually do.
That's it.
That's exciting for me.
Should have been there.
I should have been
You
there.
should have been there.
You gave us this gift. I feel like this is our holiday gift, our Christmas gift. What can I get for you? What would you like for Christmas?
Wow. I would love for the theaters to be packed, brimming with excitement, brimming with healing. That'll be the gift for me. People walking, calling family when they leave and say, I have to take you to experience this. Because the work itself has been a great source of healing to myself and my cast and my crew. And I think that that is the ultimate gift we can get, is families flocking to the theater and sharing this moment together.
You are invited into a Harkins Theater anytime.
Sweet and loving God.